My first girls trip should have been my last girls trip. So on my first girls trip, I went to, should I say where I went? I went to Vegas, and I went with one of my sisters, one of my cousins, one of my, well, I named her friend in the last story time. And then we also went with one other girl and the girl whose birthday it was. So the girl whose birthday we're gonna go ahead and call her so the birthday girl, we're gonna go ahead and call her Rudy, just because I feel like in this situation she was rude. The girl she brought, we're gonna call her Mean, because she was mean. I mean, I was gonna call her Attitude, but let's just call her Mean. Okay, so at this time I was in my prime. Like, I was super young, but I was very, very, very turned and very excited to go on this trip. This was my first time going on a trip without additional family. So without my mom, my dad, without like adult supervision. And so we were all super excited to go. Like, this was our first like big girl trip. So everybody else had previously met. Everybody else already knew each other except for me. Mean was the only new person coming into the group. She only knew the birthday girl. So let's just get to the point where we were going on the trip. So the day of the trip, like I said, we had been super amped up, super excited. We were texting each other, just super happy and excited about going on this trip. But the day of the trip, Rudy, she comes to pick us up from my house, because I told my cousin, my friend, and of course my sister to meet me at my house, and so she can just pick us all up at one location. So when she pulls up, she already has Mean in the car. And like I said, we are super excited to be going where we're going. So we're just all jolly, all happy. We come to the car and we're like, hey girl. You know, like I said, we don't know Mean. So we're like, hey girl. And she looks at us and doesn't say anything. Not a hi, not a hey, not a what's up, not even a head nod. She says nothing. That's when I knew, yeah, no, there's going to be a problem. Now, like I said, we were super excited. I had my girls with me, so I just said, I don't care. That don't got nothing to do with me, whatever. Maybe she's not having a good day, whatever. We have hours and hours and hours to get to our destination. So we're in the car laughing, we're singing, we're having fun. The girl does not say a word to us. A word. She doesn't say anything. She's only talking to Rudy. She's not saying anything to any of us. So mind you, we all put in for the rental. We all put in for the hotel. And we all pitched in for gas. Okay, so we, like I said, we knew we were gonna have a time. At this time, everything was a lot cheaper than it is now, but we already knew, like, okay, it's about to be a vibe, but you know, it's gonna be a little tight because it is a lot of us. But so we get to our destination, and Rudy goes inside of the hotel, and they tell her that she needs a $500 deposit. Now, why didn't she find out this information ahead of time? I don't know. But she comes out and she's like panicking, because she's like, I don't have 500. Like, I do, but then that's gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna be able to do all the things that I wanted to do out here. So we were looking like, now, don't get me wrong. Maybe we should have, you know, said, let's pitch in, or we should have. But I think at this time we were already like not feeling things, because we started to realize that Well, we'll get to it, but things just weren't adding up, okay? So I guess Mean ended up giving Rudy half or a portion of the 500 deposit. Like I said, she is going to be getting that back when we leave, but I guess she ended up giving her that money so that way she would be able to spend while she's out there. Like I said, we were all very young. I'm sure I did have the 500, but at the time, the way that I was feeling, I was like, yeah, you should have checked on that. For one, it's your birthday. We're all helping you fund your birthday trip. And, you know, like, we all pitched in for everything. And why didn't you check on this information ahead of time? I don't know. Y'all will see exactly why I felt the way that I felt. So we get to the hotel, and rightfully so, Mean and Rudy, they share a bed. Then I believe it was me and my cousin, we shared another bed. And then the other two, I think they slept on a pull-out couch, or one slept on a couch and one slept on a pull-out bed. I don't know how the arrangements were, but we all, you know, picked our spots and things were cool. Like I said, till this very moment, this girl has not said anything to us. We're all turned up. We're all having fun. We all talking about taking shots. Like, everything's cool. Everybody is vibing. And we're just having a great time. She is the only one that's not saying anything to us. And I did notice that Rudy was starting to distance herself a little bit too. I think she was upset because of the situation with the deposit. But we started to notice she started to distance herself a bit too. And for me, I'm just like, for one, I think things would have not taken the turn that it did if she had, for one, introduced us. When we first walked to the car, we should have been introduced, because we don't know this girl. We're all going on one trip together and we don't know this girl at all. So I think her job should have been to at least introduce. Now, if the girl decided she did not want to associate with us, didn't want to mingle, whatever, that's fine. But she should have at least, at the bare minimum, introduced us when we got to the car. And she did not do that at all. So we started taking shots. And mind you, the girl was taking shots with us, but she was not saying anything to us. She had a straight face the whole time. And I'm just like, what is up with this? Like, I don't know. It just got really weird. But like I said, we were having fun. We was vibing. We just decided, like, she don't want to talk to us. We're not going to talk to her, period. We still, you know, had the time of our life. Then, you know, it's time to go to bed. We wake up the next morning and we noticed that Rudy and me were gone. Mind you, I text Rudy and I said, hey girl, where you at? She was like, oh girl, we went to go get breakfast. You guys were still asleep. So we ended up going to the nail shop. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, we were sleeping, and mind you, it is her birthday trip. But at the same time, this became a routine. They would get up early. They would go and do their thing. Mind you, we all put in for the car, right? We all put in for the car. We did not get in that car at all. We got in that car on the way there, and we got on that car on the way back. We did not get a chance to go anywhere in that car. And when we all pitched in for this car, she made it clear that, you know, yes, the car is going to be in her name. So she wants us to be careful. She doesn't want us to like drink while we're, you know, behind the wheel, which is very understandable. But she said if we wanted to go take, you know, go to the strip or, you know, go run errands or anything like that, that would be fine for us to do because we all pitched in for the car. Or even if we wanted her to drive us somewhere or drop us off somewhere, that would be fine. We did not see that car until it was time to go back home. Because it was her birthday trip, we decided we were not going to make a huge big deal out of it. We were just going to vibe out. My cousin had a family member who lived out in Vegas, so we decided to meet up with her and see what she was going to be doing for the day, so that way we can, you know, still do something and we didn't have to walk to do it, because it seemed like everywhere we were going, we were walking. I don't know if there was Uber and Lyft back then. I don't think so. But either way, We did not have an Uber or a Lyft account, if there was that. So we was walking. Anywhere that we wanted to go, we was walking, which I thought was very unfair because we all pitched in for that truck. But mind you, we made the best of our time. We had fun. We did, a few things here and there. We couldn't do much because we did not have transportation. We did a few things. And then so one day, I believe it might have been the actual day of her birthday. I'm not sure. But one day she texts us and she says, "Hey, I'm going to a kickback. If you guys want to come, let me know." And I'm like, okay, are you going to pick us up? Like, how is this going to work? And she was like, just let me know. Like, what are you going to do? Are you guys going to get dropped off, or are you guys you guys want to get picked up? And I'm like, yeah, I think we all just decided we're not going. We're not going. The energy was off. It was weird. Like, we could feel the tension. The trip was divided. It was mean, and it was Rudy, and then all of us together. So it was really off. And I don't know, at that point I already discovered that she didn't want us on this trip. I put two and two together and I said, no, she really wanted it to just be her and Mean. But she invited us because obviously we're helping supply the funds for this trip. We are helping supply the funds for this birthday trip. The more the merrier, right? The more of us that went, the less she would have to contribute. So I did realize that all along, she didn't want us there. We were not supposed to go on this trip. It was just supposed to be Rudy and me. But she used us so that we could help her pay for the car, pay for the hotel, pitch in for gas. Once my cousin's family member found this information out, she did not like it at all. And she said, no, we need to go confront this girl. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't necessarily want to go confront her at this moment. I feel like we should handle this later. But she did invite us to this kickback. And we all decided at the last minute, you know what? Let's go show our face and let's go see what the vibe is. But like I said, the relative, she was on something different. She said, no, we're going to confront this girl. And I convinced the relative to let her enjoy her kickback and then we'll confront her later. So we go to this kickback. Super awkward. Super awkward. It was maybe about 8 to 10 people there. And they clearly did not want us there. They did not want us there. I don't know if, something had been said before we got there. Or I don't know what was going on. Maybe something was brought up about the deposit. I'm not sure. But we were clearly unwanted there. So it just got really awkward. And we decided, yeah, let's go ahead and head out. So when we were leaving, she finally speaks to us and says, you guys are leaving? And I was like, yeah, things are just, a little different, a little awkward. And she decides that she wants to confront us. So she mainly directs her anger towards me. And she says that she feels like it's getting weird. We're all clicked up and Mean is by herself. So that's why she's been linked up with Mean, because she feels like we've all been clicked up together and Mean doesn't have anybody. And I straight up told her, when we got in the car, we were open and we were ready to meet her and we were excited that we were going to be going on a trip, and we all tried to speak to her and she gave us the cold shoulder. And she goes, well, she has all brothers. She doesn't have any sisters. So she's not really used to being around females. Okay, then why did you invite her on this trip with all females? Why did you invite her? Why did you invite us? It was not making sense. I was not here for it. I said, I'm cool. I am cool. So we ended up leaving that kickback and there was tension. Straight up, there was tension. Mind you, so the next day is the last day we were supposed to be in Vegas. We had already previously planned that on the last day, we're going to go get breakfast. We're going to go walk the strip for a little bit, and then we're going to leave. She wakes us up early in the morning, very early in the morning, and she says, I'm ready to go. We're all confused, like, okay. But at the end of the day, we're like, forget it. Let's go. Rudy clearly has attitude. Mean clearly has an attitude. They're not talking to any of us. They're only talking to each other. And that's just what it was. You could cut the tension with the knife on the way home. You could cut the tension with the knife. And that literally changed the whole trajectory of our friendship. And we were no longer friends. We did not talk for years. Now, I'm not going to say what our relationship is, but let's just say I have had to run into her quite a few times after this, and we're cordial. I don't know, that just really, like, I don't know, that really just made me realize I don't know if we were friends to begin with. Now, I did end up going on another trip with her, and I feel like I was tricked. Okay, I feel like I was tricked, but that trip ended up being a whole different story. So yeah, but yeah, we don't have a friendship anymore, and I feel like that was the start of me noticing that we were never friends. But yeah, I don't understand how I even continued to go on girls trips after that, because that, like, really, I don't know, that set the bar for, like, bad girl trips. Like I said, me and my people, we have fun, but it just defeated the whole purpose. We were going for her birthday, and for us to be treated like we were just sidelined, you know what's, like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Put your opinion.
We about to get to the next.
So a couple of people have requested that I tell the second story time of the vacation that I went on with Rudy. If you don't know who Rudy is, you have to go back to one of my old story times and find the story where I was talking about how I went on vacation with a friend. But anyway, so I'm going to tell this story, but I am going to leave out some of the small details, because if you know, you know. Like, it's going to be too obvious. So like I said in the first story time, me and Rudy, we did not talk for a very long time after the Vegas story time. A very long time. It was a few years. But then we ran into each other and we became cordial. Okay, we weren't friends again, but we did become cordial. So we were on talking terms, I guess you can say. So while we were cordial, we ended up getting on the subject of concerts, and we were talking about who we would love to see in a concert. And we just so happened to have the same exact taste in music. So here comes the details that I am going to leave out. There was two people in particular that we both really wanted to see in concert. We really wanted to see them. Like, I literally said, if they are in concert, I am going. And she said the same thing. And she said, you know what? We should just go together. And I agreed. I said, oh, no problem. Like I said, we were cordial. We were on good terms. I didn't mind going to a concert with her. So literally, she went online and she found concert tickets to both of the people that we wanted to see. It was crazy because it was such a coincidence that they were both having concerts later on that year. So the first one, she was like, oh, this person is having a concert. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I'm there. And she was like, okay, cool. Like, let me know when you want to get the ticket. And I said, just let me know. And so she said, okay, well, I'm ready when you are. And so I sent her the money. I said, okay, come on, let's go ahead and get these tickets. Cool. So mind you, in the first story time, I mentioned how I felt like I was tricked. Okay. And this is why. So for the first concert, I knew that it was going to be not too far from where I live. It was a few cities over. She did mention, it's going to be in so-and-so city. So I already knew it wasn't going to be too far from home. Now, the second one, she did not mention anything about where it's going to be. And maybe I should have asked, but like I said, I was too excited and I wanted to just go ahead and pay for the tickets. So I sent her the money for the VIP tickets. Everything was cool. Everything was great. For some reason, something popped up in my mind, and I said, let me look up where these arenas are, or where these concerts are going to be. So I looked it up, and I seen that he was having one close to my city, but she told me the date that we were going, and it wasn't adding up. So I asked her, I said, what date did you say? And she was like, oh, it's going to be this date. And I said, you know it's in Vegas, right? And she was like, yeah. I automatically got irritated. Like I said, we was cool. We was cordial. But I was not comfortable with going back to Vegas with her. Like I said, at this time, I had already given her the money for both of my tickets. She had already paid for the tickets. But I had to tell her, like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with going to Vegas. And she was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Because I already paid for the ticket. She was like, I can see if someone would want to buy it, or someone would want to replace you, because I had already purchased the tickets. And I was like, yeah, but you never mentioned Vegas. And she was like, I'm sorry, I thought I did. Yeah, that's something you might want to tell somebody. And like I said, I probably should have asked, but I was just so excited to go to this specific concert that I didn't even ask many questions, and I should have. So I told her to just hold the ticket and just give me some time to think about it. During this time, I was going to be looking for someone to accompany me to this concert, or I was going to be seeing if anybody wanted to go with me to Vegas. Now, mind you, I should have just told her that I don't want to go, period. But I did feel a little bad because I had already put money into this ticket. I had already paid for this ticket, and I didn't know if anyone was going to want to spend $500 on said ticket. Long story short, I ended up asking my mom and my sisters if they could accompany me to Vegas. I was going to bring friend from the last story time, but something came up and she was not able to make it. So I asked my family if they would be down to go to Vegas, and they're always down for a trip. So it worked out. So she ended up asking her best friend if she wanted to go. Now, mind you, she did not tell me that her best friend was going until like sometime after. But I was like, okay, that's fine. I knew who her best friend was, so I didn't have a problem with that. Plus, like I said, I already had my family coming, so I already knew if anything went left, I was gonna dip. I ended up telling her I am going to go, but my family is going to be going to Vegas as well. I told her they're gonna have like a little family trip while I'm out there. And I didn't mention, that it was because I was uncomfortable, but I'm sure she can figure that out, because I did tell her that, I wasn't too sure about going because of what happened in Vegas last time. So I'm sure if she put two and two together, that's the reason why I invited my family to go. But she did not like that. She did not like that one bit. She was like, well, they're not going to be with us, right? And I was like, why would they be with us? Why would they be with you? And she was like, well, because, I'm coming out here to have fun. I want to, let loose. I don't necessarily want, anyone there that is, basically she's like, oh, I would have just invited my family if that was the case. And I'm like, girl, anyway, like I said, my family's coming and they will be nowhere near you. You don't even have to see my family. So, and she was like, okay, well, she was like, no offense, but, I just don't want it to be like a family type of trip. I wanted to like just let loose and, do my thing. I said, you could do what you please. So we're going to fast forward to the day of the trip. The day of the trip, her friend, we're going to call her Tall because she's tall, and Rudy, they come and pick me up, and cool, everything's going good, everything went well. I believe I think my sister rode with us too. I think my sister rode with us there, and then my other family, they all rode together, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, everything went cool, everything was smooth, everything was great. Now we get to the hotel, everything no issues. It seems like the vibes were good, everybody was excited, the vibes were good, no complaints. I'm not gonna lie, I've had some fun trips, but this was probably one of the most fun trips I have been on thus far. But of course, something had to go left, right? Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this story time. So Rudy was one of those girls who, it doesn't matter how fire, how bomb, how cute you look, she's not going to compliment you. And you know what, I'm not gonna say, I think she was only like that with certain people, like me, for instance. She was not going to compliment me. And I know I was looking so bomb. Even her friend was like, oh, that's cute. But she, no words. But one thing I did notice is that she put on an outfit, and I guess it wasn't giving what she thought it was going to give. So then once she saw what I was wearing, she changed. So I don't know. That was a little weird. But, I digress. I didn't make that an issue at all. You know what? She actually changed like twice, I believe. And I think she was trying to fit the aesthetic that I had, because I don't know, when I go to a concert, I'm going to fit the aesthetic of the concert. And I feel like I pulled that off. Like, I looked concert ready. And I don't know what she had in mind, but she wasn't giving concert ready. I don't know what she thought we were like. I don't know, but it wasn't giving concert ready. None of her outfits, even the one that she put on last, it wasn't giving concert ready. So we get to the concert. Concert's fun. Everything's lit. Everything's fun. Everything's great. Had a great time, okay? So let's get to the next day. The next day we went to a pool party. Now, it was my idea to go to the pool party because I love going to Vegas pool parties. Vegas pool parties are always super fun, super lit, and it's a good time. So it was my idea. I said, let's go to a pool party. We went to this pool party, and I'm not gonna lie, we were drinking before that. We drank quite a bit. And this might have been the reason why things went the way that they went. But we were drinking. Next thing you know, we started talking. Now, mind you, me and this girl, we were friends, but for some reason, I never felt right telling her any of my business. Like, I never felt right with that. Like, I might have given her a little, something here and there, but I never got deep with her, ever. Never told her my personal business. Never told her anything that would be considered a secret or anything like that. Now, I feel like the reason why I never did divulge that information to her is because I feel like she was always cap with me. Always cap. She always wanted to make something seem like something it wasn't. And then I ended up finding out through other people that it was never what she said it was. So, like, say, for example, say if this wasn't going right in her life, and she would be telling me like, oh yeah, it's been fine, but then I'll find out through other people like, no, it's actually going horrible. So I don't know why she would always do that. I don't know if because she just wanted to make herself seem better than she was, which I never cared. But like I said, because she always made things seem like they were better than what they were, I never gave her any information about myself. But anyway, she comes out of nowhere, and I don't know if it was the alcohol or what, but she comes out of nowhere and she asked me, do you even really love your boyfriend? And I'm like, what? Like, this took me so off guard because I'm like, girl, where did that come from? Now, mind you, she had only been around me and my boyfriend once, maybe twice. And the time that she, brought up was the time that we had went to an amusement park. It was me, my family, her family, I believe. And it was like a bunch of people from our church that went on this trip to an amusement park. Now, I did invite my boyfriend. He was there. But mind you, for one, we were super young. And for two, it's like, I have family here and I have people from my church here, and what do you want me to do in front of them? Like, what do you want me to, like, I don't know what she expected me to do, but basically she said, oh, I'm just asking because, you took your boyfriend to this amusement park, and I don't know, I just didn't see the chemistry. I didn't see the vibe. She said if he was my guy, or if I had brought my guy, then I would be all over him. What? So basically what she was insinuating is that I did not love my boyfriend because we were not showing PDA in front of my family, friends, and church members. First of all, she was not with us the whole time. She was not with us the whole time. So if we hugged or anything, we wouldn't be doing that in front of you, for one. And for two, why are you watching us? Like, I don't know. I felt like that was so weird. That was very weird. And I felt like she was reaching. So I told her, I said, girl, why are you watching me and what my guy is doing? Shouldn't you be worried about what you and your guy does? And she was like, I mean, I'm just saying if it was me, I would be all over my man. And I'm like, what? I've seen her around her guys, and she's not doing all of that in front of her family. She's not. So I skipped the subject and I said, girl, I said, you have kids. I said, when are you going to settle down and get married? And I can tell this is where things took a turn, because she was like, well, I've been proposed to by many men, but these are not the guys that I want to marry. And I'm like, okay. But I don't know. I'm just like, you're worried about me and you have bigger fish to fry. Okay. Then her friend Tall, she goes, yeah, like, trust me, she gets guys, she gets proposed to. Like, I've noticed that she's getting, guys propose to her. And I'm like, okay, if you say so. But yeah, no, it got intense. I promise it got intense. We had to literally dead the whole conversation. And I just noticed that, like, you could cut the tension in the room after that. You can cut the tension in the room. It just got so awkward, so weird. That's when I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go with my family. Oh, I forgot to ask. So after she was talking about, how she felt about me and my boyfriend, she had the nerve to bring up my ex, talking about oh, I heard he put you through it. And I'm like, put me through what? Put me through what? Like, and where'd you hear that from? She's like, oh, I just heard it. I'm like, what did you hear? And she was just like, oh, I mean, I just heard he put you through it. And I'm like, I don't know where you heard that from, but I'm like, yeah, I broke up with him. And that was that. Like, there was no putting through anything. There was nothing to put through. Like, when it was gone, when it was done, it was done. Like, that was just that. Like, I don't know where she was getting her information from, but I don't know, for some reason, to me, it just felt like it made her feel better to think that I was being put through ringers It made her feel better about her situation. For some, I felt like it made her feel better about her situation to think that I had been put through so much, which is weird. Very, very weird. So I just felt like they kept trying to double team me. They kept, everything I said, they both like kind of went under attack to defend Rudy. So I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. Like I said, I went with my family for the rest of the day, I believe. And I said I would be back when it was time to go, or, I think the next day we were leaving. So I was like, I'll be back when it's time to go, or I'll be back later. I don't know how long I was going, but I had to decompress because that irritated the heck out of me because, mind you, I do know her situation. I do know what she was put through with her kids' dads. But I didn't even bring those things up because that's none of my business, for one. And for two, like, I don't take joy, or I don't get joy out of knowing that somebody is being done wrong or somebody's being put through, BS. Like, I don't find joy in that, especially a woman. Like, I don't find any joy in that. And I feel like she had some type of like satisfaction of knowing, because she didn't know anything, but of knowing or thinking that I had been put through things. And it's like, at that very moment, I knew, like, this girl do not like me. She do not like me. And yeah, like I said, I thought we could be cordial, at least to do concerts, but that right there just showed me, like, no, she's not my cup of tea. So on the last day, I think we might have went to breakfast, and then we probably did like a little small activity. I'm not sure, but either way, I will say this trip was way better than last trip. Like, we actually did things and we actually had fun, and even though it was the three of us, like, we actually like had a great time. But like I said, of course, it turned left at the pool party. I don't know if it was the liquor, or I don't know if it was just something she wanted to get off her chest. I don't know, but I was like, yeah, we're done after this. So mind you, that was the concert we went to first, and like I said, that was in Vegas. The second concert was a month later, and the vibes were off. The vibes were just off the whole time. They were off the whole entire time. I brought my own bottle to the hotel because they ended up staying at a hotel. I said I was not staying at the hotel with them. I was going to go ahead and meet them at the hotel. We were going to go to the concert, and then I was going to go home. I drove myself because I learned my lesson. So the vibes were off rip. I did notice that, they had, a little snickering going on. They had the little insiders, and I'm like, girl, I brought my own bottle. I was taking me some shots. I asked them, I said, do you guys want to, take a shot or two? The friend tall, she was like, oh yeah, I'm down. Rudy, she said, no, thank you. I said, okay, cool. Great plan, okay? But yeah, that was that. That was the last time we hung out, I want to say. But is it? It might be. I think that might have been the last time. I know that was the last time we went to a concert for sure. That was the last time. But we might have hung out again after that. But it wasn't a concert, and it's never, ever, ever going to be out of town again, ever. I think it might have been a birthday party, I think. But either way, yeah, we was done after that. We was done. That was confirmation for me. That was all I needed. I learned a lesson. And to this day, we're cordial. When I see her, we speak. But that's it. We will never be taking a trip again, ever. Ever.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit live video back in the confessional. And yes, we stand lit, big dog. Man, listen. There's not enough concerts and trips and anything in the world to make me continue to do this. But you know what? I guess no. I'm not throwing money in and not asking no details. I'm like, oh, concert, yeah, let's go. And I'm gonna just give my money to somebody and let them pick the concert and like not ask questions. As a grown adult, what I'm thinking she stays in maybe the West Coast area, somewhere around Arizona, somewhere California. But either way, it's close to Vegas. Okay, it could be Utah. Who knows? But the fact that they go to Vegas lets me know that it's a West Coast city and there's a lot of stops around there. So, of course, they can go to a lot of different places. And what makes me think that it's not California. Well, what makes me think it's California is because they go outside of California, because things are a lot cheaper outside of California. So they go outside of California to go enjoy themselves. But not much as far as Vegas. But if they coming from Arizona, they're looking for the aesthetics of things. Vegas. So they want to go to Vegas to have a good time. But why not go to Phoenix? You know? So I don't know. Either way, you're looking for a good time. So I get to understand it. Like I live in Oklahoma City, right? I live in Oklahoma City. A lot of people, they take trips to Dallas to go to concerts. You know, there's a lot of girl trips to Dallas, to Kansas City, to go to concerts. For real, for real. Even now with Oklahoma City becoming a more live city, we have people coming from out of smaller towns, Wichita, Amarillo, Arkansas, that come to Oklahoma City for our concerts. And I know this for sure. And it's not a big deal because they also go to Dallas like for the same thing because it's the same trip. You can go to Dallas for the same way. The same way Oklahoma City goes to Dallas, the same. So these girls' trips are frequent when you talk about going to concerts. But to go with somebody who you know is acting phony and acts weird around other people, I just couldn't keep doing it. It doesn't matter. You know, there's people that I used to hang with when I was a young teenager or a young man, that it was things that we used to do when we was kids that I would never do right now. If they ask me right now, I'm not doing it. Even if they asked me 10 years ago, I'm still not doing it. If they asked me 10 years ago, I'm still not doing it. Because I remember there was a point in time in my life and I'm like, man, I'm not hanging with you weirdos. Like, what? Yo, because once you do me wrong and I ain't never did you wrong and you continue to do me wrong and you continue to act weird, man, I'm not messing with you. Like, I don't got time for that. And then, you know what's crazy? These people still hit you up. Hey man, what's good? I ain't seen you in a minute. Blocked. What the fuck? What? Nigga, you didn't get the message, bro? Like, I don't hang with weirdos, fool. Like, I don't hang with weirdos at all. Like, bro, if you was shady then, you shady now, and I'm never jacking with you ever. We not even, don't even come around, bro. Ever. Like, we not even cool like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to fight. Cause what's the point of that? Ain't no need to fight. I already know you're winning. But I'm not finna just sit around and go to another concert. I'm not finna go around, hang around you, and think that we about to hang out. I'm not even finna go nowhere in the city with you. I'm not finna catch up on the old times. I remember, man, we went somewhere. I was with my old partner. Not my old partner. He's just like my brother. He came to the city, so I hung out. I don't go out much. And just so happened a lot of people came out that night. And I was just like, it was so many people that came out that night. I was just like, these niggas still come out every night. They still come out all the time. And I told my homeboy, I said, I don't never come out. The fact that they gonna come around and that I would see them and everybody hanging out, I'm like, man, these niggas they ain't doing that, man. They doing the same shit, man. I don't got time. I'm not hanging out. I'm not hanging out. I'm 41 years old.